All right, welcome to What the Tech. This is the show where we cut right through the hype to get to the tech news you can actually use. So let's jump right in. Okay, let's just get it out there. This is the question on everyone's mind right now, isn't it? Is generative AI coming for your job? You see all the flashy demos, you read the scary headlines, the anxiety is totally real. Is AI about to make what you do obsolete? Well, you know how we do it here. We're going to get straight to the facts with some brand new data. A survey of 100 top US CEOs just came out, and honestly, what they're planning for the future, it might just surprise you. It's probably not what you think. So yeah, we're diving into the latest KPMG US CEO Outlook survey. We're talking about 100 CEOs from huge companies. We're talking over $500 million in revenue. The big question is, what are the folks at the top really planning to do about AI? And boom, here it is. This is the big number that kind of flips that whole AI is taking our job story right on its head. Get this, only a tiny 9% of these CEOs expect to actually reduce their workforce because of AI anytime soon. But on the other hand, a whopping 55%, 55, expect to increase their hiring specifically because of it.
I mean, just let that sink in. 55%. Over half of the biggest CEOs in the country are looking at Gen AI, and they're not thinking layoffs. They're thinking growth. They see it as a reason to hire more people. I mean, that completely flips the script we've been hearing, right? So what's really going on here?
So why aren't we seeing that huge, immediate disruption everyone was so worried about? Well, the answer seems to be in the gap. You know, the gap between what AI promises and the real-world hassle of actually making it work. And this quote from Tim Walsh, the CEO of KPMG, really tells you everything you need to know. He basically says, hey, most companies right now, they can't actually see the return on investment from the AI they're putting in place. And that one simple idea, well, that's the heart of the whole challenge. So you've got this kind of split-screen reality happening. On one side, everyone's super optimistic about the long game. CEOs are totally convinced AI is going to be a game changer in the next 5 or 10 years. But on the other side, you've got the short-term headaches. Trying to plug this shiny new tech into old, clunky, legacy systems, it's slow, it's hard, and man, is it expensive. You just can't fundamentally change how a giant company works overnight. And that right there brings us to the real story. This whole thing isn't about replacing people on a massive scale. Nope. It's about a huge, fundamental rebalancing of the skills that companies need. Hey, just a quick pause here. If you're finding this explainer useful, could you do us a solid and just tap that like button and subscribe to What the Tech? It seriously helps us out. We're about to jump into the what to do now part, and I'd love to read what you think about all this in the comments. Let us know. So if companies are hiring, what kind of jobs are we talking about? Well, to make AI actually do anything useful, you need a whole support crew. You need people to build and run the infrastructure. That means you need more data engineers to manage all that data. You need ML ops specialists to keep the AI models running smoothly. You need product managers who actually get this tech. And yeah, you even need change management experts to help everyone in the company get on board. Okay, so let's get to the good stuff. What does all of this actually mean for you? This is the news you can use. Let's break down an action plan based on what these CEOs are saying. All right, if you're working right now or you're a student, the message here is crystal clear. Start building what we call AI-adjacent skills. And look, this does not mean you have to suddenly become a master coder. Not at all. It's about things like improving your data literacy, just understanding the data. It's about learning the basics of prompt engineering, basically how to talk to these AI systems to get what you want. And maybe most important of all, double down on what you already know. That deep, specialized knowledge in your field, that's something AI just can't replicate. Now, if you're a manager or you're in HR, the key word here is proactive. Don't wait. Start planning out how you're going to reskill and redeploy people right now. And you've got to change how you measure success. It's not just about headcount anymore. The real ROI is in tracking productivity gains and how much more efficient each role is becoming.
And if we zoom out even further, for folks in local government or economic planning, this is a huge signal. You're going to see a growing demand for a whole new type of tech talent. The smartest thing they can do? Start partnering with community colleges and tech schools to create a pipeline for these new roles. ML ops, data engineering, and, as we'll see, a ton of cybersecurity.
Okay, but let's be real. This optimistic outlook doesn't mean it's all smooth sailing. There are definitely some big risks, and the CEOs in this survey were very, very clear about the challenges they're worried about.
The two things that keep coming up are security and, well, just plain old performance. First, the threat of these super smart AI-powered cyber attacks is a massive concern. That means hiring for cybersecurity isn't just a good idea, it's non-negotiable. And second, there's the risk of
overhype versus underdelivery. You can't just sprinkle AI on top of your old, broken processes and expect magic. It just doesn't work that way.
And check out these numbers to see just how serious they're taking the security threat. A mind-blowing 90% of CEOs are worried about AI being used to create next-level malware and phishing scams. And almost 60% are already thinking about the future threat of quantum computing just shattering all of our current encryption. Yeah, this is clearly a huge deal in the boardroom.
So, what's the bottom line? It's this. The story of AI's impact on our jobs is just getting started. It looks like those early fears of mass layoffs are fading, replaced by a much more nuanced reality of rebalancing skills, reskilling people, and navigating new risks. The disruption is absolutely real, no doubt about it, but the story is still being written. And that leaves a big question for every single one of us. How are you going to write your chapter?